podcast starts now. What's up, everyone around the globe? You are listening to the most beautiful voices as listed on Guinness Book of World Records. That's right. It's us, StraightioLab.
That's right. We are excited to announce our partnership with the meditation app Gay Meditation, where we will be doing soothing voices, but for people who are soothed by gay voices.
Yeah, so it's people that are soothed by voices that are a little bit different. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it's actually sort of radical because I do think the final step of LGBTQ plus acceptance is normalizing gay voices. And there are many meditation apps out there, and in none of them will you hear someone be like, so yeah, basically like what Lady Gaga did in Joanne is she put on a hat.
So pretty much what that was literally like, yeah, I think that could actually be groundbreaking.
So there I am with my pants around my ankles, and two giant guys come in.
George, I have a weird theory that I actually don't know if I believe in at all, but hear me out.
What is it?
Gay voice is dying.
Fuck.
I have met younger gay men who don't have gay voice. And in fact, you would like, they have like Pete Buttigieg voice.
Yeah.
And in a way that's like, not like from trauma, like not from
100%. Yes.
to sound straight.
Yeah. So obviously, Pete Buttigieg voice from Trauma is that thing where someone calls your landline when you are 12 and you answer and you're like, hello?
Yeah.
So that's that's from Trauma. And I just want to say, if you're over the age of 35 and you have trauma-induced Pete Buttigieg voice, I actually genuinely do not blame you, and I stand with you at the march. But
yeah, and yeah, you are valid.
You are valid. Yeah, I mean, you are valid. You yourself maybe don't think you're valid, but I am telling you as an elder that you are. But I will say I have noticed, God, I wish I remember the specific example I'm thinking of. I recently met I'll say it, a twink, someone who it was, by all counts, if you were to Google dictionary.com twink, his image would come up. And so, I expect a sort of high voice. I expect some upspeak. I expect maybe a lisp.
Sure, maybe. Why not?
And this man opens his voice and he's like, oh, I'll just have a tequila soda. And in that moment, not to make it about me, but I'm like, so where does that leave me?
Where does that leave me? Am I left behind?
Right.
Is that the future? And people are going to be like, oh yeah, older gays sound like this.
Do we need to do a time capsule recording where gays that are between the ages of 30 and 70 record their voices so that later generations can remember what we used to sound like?
I think we absolutely should, for science purposes, mostly. I mean, I have it's happened a few times where I've been like, wait, it really throws me for a loop, because also I feel like in high school or whatever, you're like, that's the ideal. I wish I sounded like that. And that is hot to me when sort of before you're comfortable with yourself, you're like, oh, a man that sounds like that is like the ideal and hot. And then I've been having it where the opposite happens now, where I'll hear yeah, I'll just have a tequila soda. And I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
You're soft as a jellyfish.
It's so unhot to me in a way that everything's all switched upside down and topsy-turvy.
Yeah. Well, of course, there is something, and maybe this is problematic, but there is something. Okay, cancel culture keyboard warriors, put your headphones down for 1 second. And let me say this. There is something hot about the discordant nature of either a twink with masculine voice or a masculine bear with a really faggy voice. Do you agree?
Yeah, I fully agree.
And actually, a bear with a really queeny voice is one of the hottest things one can be.
It's actually one of the biggest slays of all time. When a bear has a really a tequila soda voice, that is often trauma induced.
Yeah, well, because already, not all bears, of course, but already when you see someone who maybe has big muscles, tattoos, whatever, you're like, potentially, not always, potentially that's trauma induced.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. I I actually feel so on edge right now because like rarely do we ever say words like the bear community, and I'm like actually afraid of sort of speaking speaking about a community at large,
Mm-hmm.
and having I'm afraid of bear backlash, to be completely honest.
Just to be clear, our audience is 50% bears, 50% lesbians who went to Emerson.
Yeah.
And we would never deny both of those communities are the backbone of the StraightioLab brand. And without them, we would be literally kicked off our network and hung out to dry. And we would be doing, sort of basement shows in Wilmington. Where's Wilmington?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. So, and of course, everything I'm saying is with a patina of classic gay humor. Nothing I ever say, I mean, and none of it matters.
A patina?
A patina. Am I using that wrong?
I have no idea. I've never heard anyone use that word in my life.
Wait, hold on.
A patina?
Actually, patina would be a great drag name, but I'm gonna. Okay, it's sort of a layer, like a green film formed naturally on copper and bronze by long exposure or artificially and often valued aesthetically for its color. It's like something has a patina around. It's like a sort of thin layer of something.
Huh.
So I could be speaking with a patina of camp.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we've done a lot. We've addressed the bear community. We've addressed our brand and our brand goals, and we have learned the word patina.
Of course. And just to finish my thought, because it was problematic as stated, what I was going to say is like, okay, you're a bear, a muscle bear. You're a muscle bear.
Muscle bear.
You have worked towards having muscles and having tattoos. What I was saying is like, oh, it's easy for someone who doesn't have that to then look at you and be intimidated and say, oh no, you have all these markers of masculinity. But you know what you can do to then make them feel safe? Have a queenie voice.
Yeah, that's true. It's comforting.
It's comforting because you're like, I might be a muscle bear, but I love Casey Musgraves.
Yeah. I have this thing now where like, because I'm bear pilled, I'll like just be in a normal town in the Midwest and be like, oh, everyone here is gay. And it's like, no. No.
This is a classic issue for you. This is like when at our live show we were trying to decide if the concept of talking about your vacation is gay or straight, and I was like, it is so clearly straight. That's something that like people in offices do, where they're like, we're gonna take the kids and go up to our family's cabin, and you're like, no, it's gay because people are talking about Fire Island, and I'm like, maybe in your community people are talking about Fire Island, but that doesn't mean the concept of vacation is gay.
No, our community, George, sweetie.
Oh my God, I was doing a muscle tattoo thing of trying to distance myself.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was Buttigieg trauma.
Okay, so to recap, gay voice is dying. I am a friend of all bears.
Yeah.
And take back everything I said. And also, maybe our only allies left are lesbians who went to Emerson.
That's true. I guess I want to, maybe end our intro on a call to action.
Yes.
If you have a gay voice, let it out loud and proud.
Now more than ever.
What with everything going on politically, both domestic and abroad, your voice can change everything. Don't be afraid to be a little annoying.
And I would actually go so far as to say one of the most powerful things President Joe Biden could do is give a State of the Union address with a gay voice.
Yeah, I think
so. Like in terms of foreign policy,
offensive.
like for sure, I think like we're on the right track. But definitely, we could regroup.
I think if he did that, well, needless to say, he'd be a hero.
Of course. Vice President Harris, first of all, your mother.
Yeah.
Second of all, please take it away.
Wow, incredible performance. You ate, no crumbs.
That's Biden about Zelensky after they have the big meeting.
Yeah, and then people on Fox News are like, well, Speaker whoever ate him up.
Wow. Okay.
Well, should we bring in our guest?
Yeah, I think we should bring in our guest. I'm actually really into this idea. If more politicians talked in a gay voice, I genuinely think that radical things could happen in this country. And we would be closer to,
Well, it would definitely bring change.
certainly closer to Medicare for all. I mean, at that point, it's all about respectability politics. It's like once you take out of once everyone stops feeling the need to speak in a masculine tone, and by the way, women are implicated in this because let me tell you something, women in politics also try to speak like straight men. And if they just spoke like a gay man, we would have way more rights.
Yeah. Period.
Okay, so having said that, I actually would love to hear thoughts on this from a real woman in politics. Please welcome Vanessa Gonzalez.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Vanessa,
Wow.
how are you?
Oh my God, I'm so well. Thank you so much for having me. Y'all have enlightened me so much.
Yeah.
I want to be an ally.
And you're coming at us live from the battleground state of Texas. So now more than ever, it's actually important that you speak in a correct gay male intonation so that you may change the minds of all around you.
Right. Well, it's hard here in Texas because we are at war, but I am in a soundproof booth, so I guess I could speak freely.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, this is so exciting. I'm sorry I'm straight. Just wanted to start off.
No. Never apologize.
Please.
Okay.
Be
Own
who
it.
you are. Live out loud.
Yeah, you really have to own it. And also, I think that living out loud, no matter what that means for you, is celebrating LGBTQ plus culture.
Yes.
Even if you are living out loud as a straight man that is going to a desk job wearing a freshly laundered Brooks Brothers shirt, the fact that you are living authentically and purse first means that you are giving other people the permission to be their full selves.
Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
I was excited when they added the plus in LGBTQ plus.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was
Yeah.
LGBTQ plus size community. And I was
that's
like,
interesting.
they're welcoming me with open arms. But it was still a no, thank you.
You should go actually go to queer spaces and say that you are and say that because they're welcome the plus size community, you feel like you belong there. And actually I think people would really appreciate that.
I think so. We need to find a color for that on the flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, what could that color be?
Well,
It could just be sort of
like all the colors are taken.
all the colors are taken. It would maybe a chartreuse,
Yes. There's more.
something a little more
There's
indie. You know what? Actually, you know what the flag doesn't have that you would think it would? A sort of sparkly color. I think we need a gold.
I was gonna say
silver.
that.
Sparkly, that would be good.
Do you think they don't do that just because of like printing costs or something? Like it's like harder?
Well, it's because of government funding. Again, it goes back to Joe Biden having to speak in a Queenie voice. Because if there was more funding, then each pride flag would also have one stripe that was all Swarovski crystals.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That would be so gorgeous. And it would never wave because it would be weighed down by the crystals.
It would just be down. Yeah.
It would be like down and sad.
Yeah, it'd be constantly in mourning. It would be at half mast because it was too heavy to actually lift.
Yeah, what a beautiful little metaphor, Like I'm too beautiful, I can't even stand up. I mean, that's the gay experience.
That is the gay experience. I'm too beautiful, I can't stand up. And also, I'm not a very hard worker.
But I want to be adored regardless.
I want to be
Yes.
regardless. And I want to be the centerpiece of this restaurant
Yeah.
and or Unitarian church.
Yes. Of course. Of course.
Vanessa, I feel like you live in Austin. I feel like Austin is a very almost aggressively LGBT inclusive city.
Oh yeah. I mean, we do the most, we try our best, but the Texas is seeping into Austin every day.
Really?
little by
Really?
little. Oh yeah. You've seen our politics.
Yes. Well, it's not just Texas seeping into Austin. It's also like random people moving to Austin that are sort of tech entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I think the rich, it's Austin's real rich now. I think it's like trying to be mini LA.
Mhm.
And I thought, that would make it, keep it still the liberal pool that it is, but it seems like it's going the other way.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Oh, right. Because like Joe Rogan's there now,
Exactly.
right? And like all those people.
Tesla.
Yeah.
A lot of people that moved like from San Francisco, like tech people, moved to Austin during the pandemic.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, what? You won't tax us? Let's go. What? Oh, we just don't need to give women rights? Sign me up.
Damn.
Right, exactly. And you're like, well, the reason taxes are low is because there's a thriving drag community. It's not about you.
Right?
So basically what you're saying is the central motto, which is keep Austin weird, is actually now like a battle cry. It is it is like
It is.
genuinely something that needs to be said.
Yeah, it's like keep Austin weird by letting me have abortions.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
please.
You know what though? I hate to challenge the brave souls that came up with Keep Austin Weird, but it really does go to show you how important it is to be specific, because weird can mean so many different things. And I would argue, you know, someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene is weirder
She's weird.
That's true.
than many people I've met that live in Austin. So you're sort of like, people don't have the capacity for nuance. You really have to be specific.
Yeah.
If you're making a charter, like the words matter. Like you can't just say keep Austin weird. You have to say keep Austin good weird. Like
Right.
keep Austin like quirky. Like
Yeah,
even that doesn't really work.
No, yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
y'all are blowing my mind. It's like keep Austin weird is kind of like make America great again.
Literally.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
I need to throw away all my Austin shit.
I mean, it is truly like make America great again. Obviously, the whistle, you know, it's clear what it means, but it is vague enough that, like, I don't know, if I didn't know what it meant, and RuPaul came out and was like, "Make America great again," I'd be like, "Oh, she means make it like it was before Trump."
In the 90s.
Yeah, in the 90s.
Yeah. When we were all doing drugs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the club kids ruled the world. Okay, so keep Austin weird. Yeah, it's like when exactly are you thinking you want to keep it? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
I don't
Yeah,
know.
what kind
some
of
bad times there,
weird?
yeah.
Yeah. Willie
Like
Nelson?
Right. Yeah, is it Willie Nelson?
I don't know.
Who else is from Austin? Hold on.
George Bush?
George Bush. Right, it's like George Bush is weird.
He's really weird actually.
Do you want that to be all of Austin?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
But he's the bad weird.
Wait, I've got it. We have a new phrase.
Okay.
Get Austin normal.
Yes.
I actually completely agree with get Austin normal, because it's also like
I
you're
love
then
it.
reclaiming normal. You're like, normal is everyone having equal rights,
Yes.
women feeling safe, the LGBTQ community feeling empowered to speak in gay voices. Again,
A walkable community.
a walkable community,
Yes.
affordable well drinks.
Yes.
I also think get Austin normal. Get means like it's always you're working towards something.
Yeah.
Like keep is very like conservative. We need to
Yeah.
stay where we are. Get is like there's progress to
It's
be had
progressive.
here.
It's progressive.
Progressive, quite frankly.
It's hope and change. It's actually more progressive than hope and change because you're making it specific.
I love this. I mean, meeting adjourned. We did great work here.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
I mean, you know, when you start a podcast, a comedy podcast about straight culture, you never expect to change the world. And it just happens so naturally. And if it were forced, of course it would be bad, but it just comes to us.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised after this airs if the politics change in Texas.
Yeah.
Y'all
I wouldn't
are
either.
gonna make Texas blue.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. You know, unfortunately, this podcast has a lot of power. We did mention JoJo Millennial, the singer, and then the next day she was cast in a Broadway play.
It actually
And
is
I
true.
wish I were lying.
Yeah. And she was cast in Moulin Rouge.
Oh my god!
So,
I'm so hopeful.
I mean, the crown on our heads is so heavy. It's sort of like the Swarovski crystals on the flag. We can't stand up via the pressure, but luckily we can sit in our chairs and record our podcast.
Wow.
That's why we usually don't have guests on that are like specifically promoting like a book or a film or something, because we would actually be sued by the government because of how much weight. Because then, like, you know, if, you know, let's say if Who has a movie coming out right
I
now?
mean, not me.
Not me.
Nor a book.
It's like if Jessica Chastain came on and promoted her starring role in A Doll's House on Broadway, suddenly the prices would rise. It would be like Live Nation and Taylor Swift. Suddenly everyone in New York would be suing Live Nation because of the amount of press she got on our podcast. And so, we're like, whatever, let her flop.
And it's hard, actually. It makes it hard to find guests because, like, everyone we know is like either promoting a book or a movie. So we really have to like dig through the contacts and be like, okay, do we know anyone who doesn't have something right now?
Again, not me. And I've never felt better about not having either.
Well, Vanessa, you're promoting your political career and your amendment to the LGBTQ plus acronym to include all plus size people, regardless of their politics, sexuality. Like, we're talking like... It really is blue state, red state. That is the one area where you are the most inclusive, despite your political efforts.
I am very selfless.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you again for having me.
Of course.
Of course. Wow. That's fun.
Should we do our first segment?
I think we should, actually.
All right, let's do it. Okay, well, Vanessa, our first segment is called Straight Shooters, and in this segment, we test your familiarity with and complicity in straight culture by asking you a series of rapid-fire, nonsensical questions where you have to choose one thing or another thing. And the one rule is you can't ask any follow-up questions about how the game works. Otherwise, you will be booted off this video call, and we will cyberbully you online.
Okay.
And you'll never work in politics
You'll
again.
never work in politics again. And by the way, without you, Texas will go back to being red, solidly red.
No.
So a lot is riding on this.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
Sam, take it away.
Okay. Flesh and blood or sticks and stones?
Sticks and stones.
Whimsical knitwear or universal childcare?
Whimsical knitwear.
True. Okay. Fig Newton, Isaac Newton, or Newt Gingrich?
Fig Newton.
Doing the Macarena or shooting with Michael Pena?
Oh, shooting with Michael Pena.
Could be huge.
Oh my God, I wish I was shooting with Michael Pena.
If only.
I wouldn't be on this podcast if I was.
Yeah, you're not allowed.
That's for damn sure. Okay. Watching a Twitch stream or having a wet dream?
A wet dream.
Getting a PhD or baking a wheel of brie?
Oh, Wheel of Brie.
True. Okay. Chevy Chase the person, Chevy Chase the town in Maryland, or Chevy Chase the idea of a car that is a Chevy in the midst of a chase?
The idea of a car that's a Chevy.
I mean, you gotta.
Yeah.
Okay. Simple human trash cans or complicated women in film and television?
Complicated women in film and television.
Wow.
Wow.
That was really beautiful.
That was really beautiful. And I have to say, I think I'm going to give you 900 doves out of 1,000 doves because I think you immediately stepped up to the plate. Sometimes, we judge these things based on pure performance value. And I think sometimes when someone answers quickly, I think it's because they're not contemplating what we're saying. But in your case, I think you just are such a fast learner that you immediately knew what was up and you knew exactly which one you had to pick for each one. What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, I thought that you were clearly a fast learner. I could feel sort of you weren't just answering the questions, you were also making a statement, which I found to be so powerful because, some people, they go for the joke, but you said, what does this say about not only me, but about culture at large? And I could really feel that throughout your answers. And I was moved by that.
And I want to say, Vanessa, I know you a little bit and I know you are a former educator and I could see that jump out when it was very like 1, 2, 3, all eyes on me. Like as soon as we gave you directions, you were there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I will say they were all fear-based answers because you all instilled fear in me before
Yeah.
you
Mm.
Well,
before you started.
one of the cornerstones of being a good educator is
Yeah.
leading by fear.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we believe that people aren't showing their true self unless we've seen them be afraid.
I actually think that's true. And in fact, I would go so far as to say, not to bring it back to politics, but like when you're interviewing a politician about their views, you should first scare them with like a jump scare and then immediately ask a question so that what
Yeah.
they say, the first thing they think of will be the honest thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Wow.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
the Scream villain. What's the Scream villain's name? Oh my God. I keep wanting to say
Ghostface.
Scarface. Ghostface.
Ghostface, yes.
Like Ghostface comes out and scares, John McCain, and then you're sort of like, what do you think about military spending? And he's like, more.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, because then the
Okay.
stakes are real. You have to be honest.
So you're saying we should have press conferences in haunted houses?
Yes.
100%. The camera should be following. It's a one-shot tracking shot following the politician from the beginning of a haunted house to the end of a haunted house, and each time the politician is scared, they are asked a question about domestic or foreign policy.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, those chainsaw people, I think they could get the more honest answers than some of these newspaper writers, I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Or like a wet little girl crawling at them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Samara from The Ring.
Yes.
That would be amazing. Well, that sounds like a business idea.
I love it. All right, it's patented.
Great. We own a patent just like that.
So Vanessa, I want to sort of dive right into this topic because it is a topic that I have found, and maybe this is just my bubble of LGBTQ plus size community,
Yes.
but I think that I have found this to be really in the ether recently. Like many people I know are interested. So I want to really get to the bottom of it. So I would love to know what your topic is and why you brought it to the table and what you think is straight about it.
Okay, my topic is the TV show Survivor, reality TV show Survivor. And I was going through my list of things, of straight things in my world, and it's a small list. And I wasn't even sure if Survivor was straight. Because I've only seen like the more recent seasons, and I think there's a line. I think if you watch like the beginning, it's very straight, and then it kind of it's getting a little blurred now. But it came into my world recently because a friend was like, "You gotta see it. You gotta. It's so good," and I got hooked.
Yeah,
I got hooked.
You got hooked. What about it spoke to you?
It's just the drama of not watching. It's mostly white people, and watching them just not eat and just go against each other. It's very riveting.
Yeah, I got into it in the pandemic as well. So many people were like, you got to check it out. And even I would say my straight, who, old listeners of the pod know that I had a straight for a while that I was obsessed with, and he wanted me to watch Survivor, and whatever he said I would do. And so I did start watching Survivor via his recommendation, and actually I did love it. There was something so chaotic about it, like the way that it wasn't, because I was expecting a meritocracy when I turned on the show Survivor.
Same.
And I didn't realize it's all about trickery and like being messy.
Yeah.
Which honestly sounds a little gay, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying it's getting blurry. But that's what's drawing to me is like the way you have to manipulate everyone. It's like, you're my best friend. You're going to tell me, right? If they're going to, and they're like, absolutely, I would tell you. And then they're like, bitch, you're off the island. It's like, and it's just very like, you got to backstab. They're known for the blind sides. And then also just the people that they pick to be on there. Like, it's a month. You're on. I'm like, do you have a job? Can you keep your job? When you say,
I've
like,
always wondered this.
I need to be out for a month.
And they're not allowed to say they're not allowed to say why they're out for a month. So you
Right.
really have to basically lie about having a medical emergency or lie about being pregnant. Like there's really no other way.
Yeah,
Wow.
because they're out there for so long, and it's like they're a lot of them. I'm like, are they telling the truth? Are these all actors? I don't know,
hmm
but they get me every time.
I'm sort of fascinated by this idea that it's something that is like many things straight on paper and gay in practice, where it's like you hear about the premise of Survivor. It is sort of going back to the wilderness and it is a survival game. And you're like, wow, this is sort of like a straight man's dream. Like an emasculated straight man is like, I'm going to be a real man and go out into the woods and fend for myself. And you think, okay, the people who are going to win this game are like a muscly guy who is able to like murder a deer and eat it raw. And then when you actually get there, you're like, no, actually, the most valuable skill is being an iconic bitch.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like you have to be a bitch, but also be liked, and that is a hard thing to do.
Yeah. It's an amazing show. I think for me, where it gets straight, like the straightest part about it is more like what you were saying, like who they cast.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's very. At least I watched like the early seasons. I think I watched like season 3 or like season 3, season 8. Like people were recommending early seasons,
Yeah.
and so those were the ones I watched.
The straighter seasons.
Yeah, and there were a lot of like. And before we were talking about this, there were a lot of like Republican undertones where it was
yeah.
like that guy's a cop and is like and that guy's a cop and that lady is like one of those fitness people, but not in the liberal sense. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, like the early seasons is all cops that are on administrative leave.
yeah. It's like, how can they take a month off work? And it's like, oh, it's really easy actually.
Right. And they're there, and yeah, they talk about God a lot, and they talk about their values, and you're like,
Yeah.
who's gonna win? Because you have to be a shady bitch to win this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so believing God is your first mistake there.
Well, I think it's powerful. It is powerful in showing that like straight people can be shady bitches
Well.
to like almost a grander with like less heart than a gay person. Like gay people are almost like, oh, it's because I love you. Straight people are like, no, it's because of money. Like I want to destroy you.
Yeah, and the lies they tell, like I saw one recently, and they have challenges, and if you get an immunity idol, you won't be kicked off the island. Well, this one girl was like, I'm gonna make a fake one so that people think I have it. I'm like, that's awesome. Like she's going, and the acting she's doing of like, yeah, and people believed her. It's just like wild the extent they go to.
Well, the acting, you mentioning just like the concept of acting, of course, begs the question, is it an exercise in long form improv?
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
And is that one of the straighter qualities of it, perhaps?
Yeah, I think it's definitely like watching an improv group improv for an hour, and you're just like, wow.
Yeah. The way that like I'm like thinking about like, okay, the challenges are also very funny to me because they're so like little kid in a way. Like it's like it feels like Recess in a way that is like very I don't know if it's gay or straight, but it is playful, which makes me think gay. Like I watch that and I'm like, I want to play.
You're like, it's whimsical.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, oh, and there's like color codes and like, yeah.
The argument for it being straight to me is sort of like it is adjacent to escape room, board game night,
Yes.
bowling, like, you know, mini golf. Like, it's sort of like, okay, it is people, and of course I'm painting in broad strokes here. It's people who have no no difficulties in real life that are like, how can we like feel something for once? I guess we'll go to the wilderness.
Yeah, because I'm like, who's choosing this? And then the stakes are always so high for them of like, I need this money because I need to help my family, and I'm like, but you're gone for a month, you're not helping them. Like it's
And also, what a
wild.
strange thing to choose. If what you need is money to help your family, what a strange thing to choose as even like one of the top 5 things you could do.
Right? Yeah, if someone was supporting me and they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna go on this show, I got us," I'd
Yeah.
be like, "I don't think you do."
I think one of the ways that it's also gay is that like it is fully a subculture that people when they are in, they are like all in.
Yes.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
there's like little celebrities that are just like
Yeah.
survivor celebrities. There's a
Mhm.
whole like it's kind of well, I guess it's like drag race. It's
Yeah.
like straight drag race.
Well, but it's also like The Bachelor, which is the straightest fandom. Like The
Oh,
Bachelor is like
true,
truly a
true.
universe unto itself, and people are like, "Oh, Amber R." I just made that up, but like it's like everyone knows all the people, and then it's going on it. The point of going on it is barely